people. We are back. A2TP podcast, episode 88. That's what you get for rolling waters under there. We are back in the building. A2TP podcast, episode 88. It's your boy, International Walt.
It's your girl, Taj, the co-hostess with the mostest.
And we are back for another episode of A2TP podcast.
I feel like news reporters this evening.
We're not news reporters. You guys can catch this show on A2TPodcast.com. You can catch it on YouTube. You can catch it on Facebook. You can catch it on Instagram, Twitter, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Anchor, Spotify. All those platforms are on. And we also have a website, A2TPodcast.com. So go check that out. All the latest episodes are there. Any of the websites I said, you can go there and get the latest episodes. We do got to upgrade our pictures of us.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, make some new pictures because we got a lot of pictures since
our brains.
The inception of that. So some new pictures is warranted on the website, but all those platforms y'all can find these faces. We are back. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
How are you?
Mentally, I'm going to say in this very moment, I'm a 7.5.
7.5?
Yeah, that's better than last week, right? Because I think I was a 6.
Can you elaborate?
Life is still life. I am just extremely grateful and just trying to keep a level mind. Extremely grateful for my husband.
Grateful for you too, baby.
And not allowing the dark clouds to suck me up in them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that. There is a light at the end of the tunnel.
This is not your grandmother's Natasha. It's a new woman here.
I'm not your grandmother's Natasha.
Gone of the days of the old Natasha.
Life
gone are the days.
Life will do that to you. I am really learning a different just appreciation of things and what's important. And my friends that know me, may have my presence may be a little less. Just because, I'm dealing with my stuff, and I'm appreciative for the people who, reach out to me. And even if you don't, I ain't asking for pity. Like, it is what it is. But, I am not the old Natasha, and things will do, good and bad things will do that to you. But in the end, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So mentally, I'm a 7.5. Work? Yeah. Okay. I didn't want to go out of order. Yeah. Okay. Work is an 8.
Work's an 8. Okay.
I'm manifesting positivity because it's a pain in the behind, but it's an 8.
We're going to start calling each other on this because mental and work kind of go hand in hand. And I've been looking at the cards, and it's weird how you can be a 7.5 mentally, but be an 8 at work.
Well, because I'm trying to compartmentalize.
I know, but still, it seems like it should be lopsided the other way.
Well,
like if you just said mentally I'm an 8, but work I'm a 7.5, it's like you're giving a little bit more to work where you should probably be taking a little from work and putting more into the mental. Using tools.
Okay,
That's all.
But work.
I'm not saying the way you feel is wrong. I'm just giving my opinion.
No, I understand that work could work in some scenarios, and I'm not saying that's the current scenario.
Like if work dropped 0.5 and mental went up 0.5.
But what if work is the bright spot? Like, what if it's like somebody who just got a promotion or just got a raise, and it's like that's the bright spot?
Then it is what it is.
And I'm not saying that's my bright spot, but but yeah, I feel you though. Financially, I'm a 10. God did.
Stole that cow.
And physically, I'm cool. I'm an 8. I don't feel bad, thank God. My legs don't hurt anymore. Nothing hurts right now. So actually, I'm gonna say I'm an 8. I'm gonna keep it at an 8. But yeah,
that's good when you're 41 and don't nothing hurt.
Yeah, no, that's what I say. I don't want to complain.
A toe, a finger, nothing, an ear, like nothing.
I want to be more active and do things I'm supposed to do, and feel loosey goosey. But nothing hurts right now. So God did.
Mm-hmm. So when would you feel tight?
I feel stuffed.
Whatever the fuck that means. That's not loosey goosey.
Yeah, that's not loosey goosey. How are you? No. How are you?
I'm good. Like you said, sitting here right now, I'm good. I'm happy. Mentally, I am probably, let me just do it overall. I'm probably an 8.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm an 8.
8 is good.
Work, I'm a consistent 8. Finances, I would say bump up to a 9. Physicality, I feel good, so I'm gonna be a 9 on physicality. Don't nothing hurt. So I'm good. Yeah, and well, no, I'll let you know, but I'm good.
Okay.
Wows and woes.
Wow is just thank God for another week of life.
So both of our wows will be thanking God.
Yeah.
So thank God for another
for love
7 days.
And for life.
Thank God for mercy. Thank God for grace. Thank God for his blanket of protection that he has around us. Just thank you.
Yup.
Woes.
I don't really have any personal woes, so I'm I'm good. I'm just good. No, I'm sorry, because you know what I was gonna say, but it feels crazy, but all right, just the continual violence in the world, but I kind of feel like here we go again, just the same book, just a different day.
Yeah, but you don't say that about the sun. Comes up every day. You don't say, "Here you go again." Like
no, but the violence is oh my
like,
goodness, it's ongoing, and don't let me just be completely transparent. I can't say that I know one P&B rock song. Toya told me that if I heard some, then I'd probably be like, oh, I just didn't know that was him. So that may be the case. I wasn't no fan because I really wasn't familiar with him. But just knowing another young black male from North Philly at that, made it out to him, trying to, doing something with his life, just to be, you make it out the trenches to be in somebody else's trenches, but in the midst of you working to be killed, it's just like, come on, it's tiring. And okay, I will say this. On top of that, the biggest woe is this sensationalism of death and the videos and people wanting to see that. It's just the whole situation. And again, I know, how many times have we talked about gun violence on this show? This is episode 88.
Probably 12 episodes or something, over 10.
Yeah, it's too much. Yeah, so that's probably that.
But it's us, and it's...
No, I'm not saying us. I'm just saying because it's ongoing.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But it's us. It's us as a people, black people.
Yeah.
Like, it's us. The senseless killings, that's what we're talking about. So right off the back, we got extinction, Nipsey Hussle, Pop Smoke, Juice WRLD, King Von, Draco, Young Dolph, Trouble, Biggie, P&B Rock. Like, these are all rappers that died, that we were familiar with. Nipsey Hussle, Pop Smoke, Draco, P&B Rock, and Biggie all died in L.A.
I was gonna say, why you only name those? Okay, so those are ones that died in L.A. Okay,
yeah, so these are the guys that died in L.A. And like, I forgot about King Von. God damn, Von. He was such a good rapper. But Von and Dirk, Voice of the Hero? No?
I mean, I've heard his name. I don't know no songs or anything.
But yeah, just the gun violence in America across all states, in Philly. But that's just to name 9 guys who died in the last 3 years, for the exception of Biggie Smalls, who died in 97.
Extinction, that was 3. That was.
Yeah, he died in 18. So 4 years ago.
It just time flies. So yeah. Wow.
But what do you the LA gang? First, before we get to that, is murder a part of rap culture? Do you think murder is a part of rap culture? I personally think it's due. So let me go first. I think murder is a part of rap culture because, say like rap, when it first started out, you hear old school rap, it was hibbity hop, hibbity bop, the speakers in the park and all that kind of stuff. You carried around your cardboard, you break dancing and all that stuff. And then early 90s, late 90s, I think NWA hit the scene and a lot of people started to label rap music and hip hop gangster rap. But so you got these kids, and You know, the guys that was rapping about the skibbity bebop and all that stuff, that was their life. They was going out and spraying graffiti on walls and breakdancing against other hoods and other, you know, all things like that. So that's what they were rapping about. But you get another group of guys that come up in the late 80s and 90s who are rapping about their disenfranchised neighborhoods and what they see every day and what goes on, and crack and the murders and the prison time and all that kind of stuff. So when you put that kind of stuff in music, doesn't that make murder a part of hip hop culture? If you allowing people to be real and talk about what they see, what they live around, what they grow up.
So I don't think that. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes.
So if you're making an honest record and you're talking about where you see what you see, and you come from a place like Philly or Memphis or Chicago, and you're not getting on these records and talking about fake stuff, you're talking about what you see day to day or what you've seen so far in your life, murder might be a part of that.
Right. Well, because I think rap music is a part of urban culture. Murder is an unfortunate part of urban culture. So, well, American culture, okay. But more, in urban America, it's something that is prevalent. So I think rap music being a microcosm of that, then you're going to see what you see in masses. So you can't say, okay, these people, the rappers, most of them come from this culture, so they're gonna bring along with them things that are part of that culture.
You said you can't say that?
I mean, you can't expect it not to be since right. Those people are from that culture. So I mean, I think that unfortunately is a part of the territory because that's where they're from. So just because they take that piece of you take them out of the whole, or you separate them where now they're a part of this smaller group, it's still part of the bigger picture. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it automatically comes with rap per se.
No, I'm not
but
saying
I think because rap comes from that whole, that's why it's part of it.
I don't think rap originated with that, but do you think it's there now? Is what I'm saying. After groups like NWA, after groups like some of the down south groups, like after people have gotten on records and talked about, murder and stuff like that. And
I don't necessarily think it's because of the rap. I think it's just because of the nature of the people and where they come from and the places they go and the things that they do and the things that they're involved in. I don't think it's the music or the lyrics themselves that, now of course you may have the argument when some people say
what do you mean when you say that? You don't think it's the lyrics? Like if you have these people who are from these hoods and they're talking about everyday life that they see, and we see murder, we see drugs, we see sex, we see all this kind of stuff, how isn't that a part of hip-hop culture?
Well, I thought you were referring to murders happening, not just talking about murder.
No, I mean, like, is it a part of, like, just like it's like when they say it come with the streets, like, does it come with hip-hop? I think you see 9 rappers die in 3 years.
So that's what I'm saying. You're talking about people actually dying, not right. Just them singing about it. No, again, I don't think that's indicative of the music itself. I think it's because of I think those
even with
people,
a genre called drill.
I think those people who do drill music would probably, if they weren't rappers, there's chances they would have ended up dead anyway, because that's part of their life. That's part of the culture that they come from. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's just because they're a rapper now that, murder becomes a part of their life. I think they bring that mindset to that rap world, mm-hmm. just like so many others have. But unfortunately, if King Von wasn't a rapper, I think living the kind of life that he already lived, if there's a chance that he may have ended up dead anyway.
Well, so what do you say about a guy like PNB Rock or Nipsey Hussle, who was at his own store in his community that he supports? Now, everybody know Nipsey was a Rolling 60 Crip, and I don't know his history and what he did in the streets, but I'm just saying that's a part of his story. But here's a guy who turned his life around, who had millions behind him and millions of people going to his own store in his community that supports his community, and like not even on that kind of tip no more.
But again, that's somebody, he wasn't killed because of rap or because of music. He was killed because of the culture and the environment where he came from. So that guy that killed him didn't kill him because he's a rapper, or didn't kill him because of his, like, oh, you're a rapper, so now that's part of this life. I think in that situation, let's say if Nipsey Hussle was just a social activist who was out here trying to do things in the community, but still had the same history behind him and so forth, just his career at that moment was different. That man may have acted in the same way just because of the culture and environment. So I think PNB Rock, the same thing. Let's say he was a successful movie star, but coming from the hood, if all of the stars aligned the same way they did for him, except his career was a movie star instead of a rapper, and he did the same exact thing he did, stopped at Roscoe's to get chicken and waffles, I think he still, unfortunately, may have met the same timely demise because of the culture and the environment that he grew up in and unfortunately felt comfortable in going into. That culture killed him, not because he was a rapper.
Right, okay, I see what you're saying. So let's speak about that LA gang culture.
Let me tell you something.
LA gang culture and checking in.
So let me tell you that it's really weird because I don't think this is just my opinion. I think the LA gang culture has been, I don't want to say glorified, but it's been like movie-like to people. Mythical, if we want to use that word, to people outside of LA, because we grew up in the 90s seeing it on the news all the time. It was almost like unbelievable. And this is not anything funny, but it's a little bit funny. As a kid, I used to want to live in Compton so bad because it was just like
the dumbest shit.
And
then mind you, this is like the fourth time I've heard this in 4 days.
But the crazy thing is, not to like be a part of the gang culture. I used to like think to myself, I wanted to like look out the window to see like, is it really as bad as the news people? Like, they talked about it like you had to, if you was going to school, you had to run all the way to school not to get killed. And that may have been the life for some people, depending on, if it was current gun battles going on or something. But I'm just saying, it was so sensationalized on the TV, hearing it all the time. And then you see movies like
Menace to Society, Boys in the Hood.
So I think for people outside, and then let's just, give props where it's due. I think the violence kind of died down some. Doesn't mean gang culture went away.
No, the violence died down after the Rodney King riots.
Okay, so it died down. And I think what people outside of LA fail to realize is that gang culture is embedded in LA.
Yeah, gang culture in LA goes back to the 70s. Like,
it's like cheesesteaks and water ice in Philly.
It's people's grandmoms who are Crips and Bloods and essays and all that stuff. So it goes back to a community-based thing that turned into, it kind of was like a do for ourselves thing, but then it turned into the guns and the violence and all that stuff because it was like a war against police and you just wanted to do for yourself. That's how it started. But gang culture in LA is like serious, like right. Serious. And for people outside the state and outside the city who just see California as a nice place, it's 85 degrees all year round, like you gotta, if you're not from there, any part of California, like especially Los Angeles, like if you're not from there, you shouldn't like, there's nothing wrong with checking in. Like you gotta know somebody.
If you're somebody of stature.
Yeah, I'm not checking in.
Yeah, we don't need nobody.
I'm just saying, if you know somebody from a city and you come into that city, what's wrong with saying, "Hey, yo, bro, I'm coming to that city. Let's hook up or whatever." But just letting somebody know, so maybe their influence in that city can save your life one day. But there's nothing wrong with you going to these hoods like Chicago, LA, Memphis, and you think you can just pull up in a Maybach Dolo and $100,000 around your neck and sit somewhere and eat. It's like people are moving in a way that they think it should be and not the way that it is.
Well, that's why I say I think that life it has been so sensationalized in the movies and on news and TV and documentaries and stuff. People don't realize, again, like you said, it's part of their culture. Just because we don't hear about the murders as much as we now hear about murders in Philadelphia and Chicago, the gang culture itself will forever be there. So people, it's almost like you don't think about that, or you might hear people say it, but you don't think that it's true or that it's necessary until unfortunately something happened. And that's when now of course you have some people, like I know Rick Ross, there was a story about, I think, when he went to Detroit and not checking in, but
trick
but people, I mean, if you're not a part of that culture and you think about somebody,
and that's not gangs, that's just a group of dudes who
I know that was different, but I'm just saying the whole checking in to avoid violence, like not gangs, but and you think about somebody like PNB Rock
with a phone call. His situation could have been ceased with a phone call.
But again, you think about someone like him, right? He's from North Philly. We know North Philly, the hood,
from
18th and Cumberland. Yeah, well, I mean, I know
he's from Clearfield Street.
So, okay, the hood. You used to seeing the worst of the worst, violence, guns, yada, yada, yada. So you're not feeling no fear necessarily. I'm sure you're aware, but you feeling, like everybody say, I'm good in any hood. I ain't come here to start no trouble. I ain't no punk, but I don't want no smoke, and I ain't giving no smoke. That's what you have the mentality, and you think that you're going to be okay, and you should be okay with that mentality. But unfortunately, that ain't life. Just like somebody from LA could come out to Philly and go to McDonald's at Broad. Is McDonald's at Broad?
No, but I get what you're saying.
But can go to
the hangout that everybody is hanging out the South Street.
Yeah, and that's the same thing happening because they just think like, I ain't come here to start no trouble. I'm from where y'all from, just a different place. I'm from the hood too. I made it. I'm doing good.
But that's where the disconnect comes from. Because if you from the hood, if you from the ghetto, like me and a lot of other people, you have a sense of paranoia. And when you get around large crowds and uncomfortable places, like that gut feeling that you have, like listen to that shit. Like I heard that he was telling his girl he didn't like how something looked around there, and it's like, you got to be able to just leave when you get that gut instinct of uncomfortability, because you from the hood. You know how people move. You come from that. So you know how it is. You know how people size you up. You know how people will try to set you up. Like, I don't think, and the whole posting in real time and his girlfriend posting the location, like I don't even think that was a part of it. Like in that neighborhood, like somebody from across the street, a fucking fan, anybody could have saw him. An employee, anybody could have saw him and said, bam, look who's in the Waffle House, or I'm on the phone, guess who just came in here, PNB Rock. Like you don't know how the situation happened. But him, I'm not saying his demise was his fault, but when you from the hood, and you got them instincts, that street smarts that we all talk about, that shit don't look right, shit weird, like I shouldn't be here, then get the fuck out of there. Because something you have on, something you got in your pocket, something that somebody think you might have, they'll take your life for it. And that shit is sad. And young rappers out there, like, there's nothing wrong with checking in. Like, there's nothing wrong if you know people in another city to say, yo, I'm coming to your city. Like, their influence might save your life. Like when you doing shit like that and traveling from city to city, and doing this and doing that and doing shows, like a phone call. Like just but that
just might be a concept that people aren't aware of. I never heard.
I think that's a concept that young people aren't aware of. Like older guys are aware of it. Like,
well, you said young rappers. That's what I'm saying.
But they need to get on that. Like, but that's what I'm saying.
I have never heard that terminology until maybe like a year or so ago when the guy, is it Big U, was talking on like a podcast about how they want like. But that was like, wow, like who thinks
how old is he? He's 55 years old. You know how long that's been going on in LA?
I know, but what I'm saying is a lot of people just might not be aware, especially if you're from an area where, like let's say you a young rapper up and coming, and you've been traveling like locally to do shows and stuff like that. You from Philly, you might be going to DC, you might be going to New York, you might be going to Baltimore, you might be going to Connecticut, you might even be going down to Virginia, like, and you never encountered any problems. Like, it just may not be a concept that people are aware of, or you may not even be big enough yet to have those connects to even know who to check in with. How about, let's say, to the robbers and to the people that you're checking in to protect yourself from? That's corny. Like, get a job.
It is corny to rob people, but that's not that's an issue, but you're not going to stop that. So that's what I'm saying by asking why things are the way they are, and you should be able to go here. Yeah, that's all true, but that ain't the reality. The reality is shit is fucked up. There's robbers out there, people stalking on you, so move accordingly. Like, that's just the reality of it. We can sit here and say, yeah, we want it to be like this, and we all do. It should be like this, and you should be able to put your jewelry on and get in your car that you worked hard for and go where the fuck you want. This is America. But the truth is, you can't. And under those guidelines, you have to operate under those guidelines as if it is and not how you wish it to be. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Rest in peace to
PNB Rock.
And condolences to his family, to the young lady, his girlfriend, the mother of his, I don't know of all of his children, but I know they have a child together. Just, to his children. That's I can't even imagine losing my husband, let alone losing him brutally and being there.
Yeah.
Like, it's just unfortunate. And
when people say time heals wounds, it's like that's some shit that doesn't go to the back of your mind, like a death would or something like that, where over time you might don't think
you
about
hear
that
it,
thing.
you see it, you smell it.
That shit was right in your face. She probably will smell gunpowder the rest of her life, like being that close to gunshots like that, or smell blood the rest of her life. Like, that shit is intense for people who've been in those situations. You know that.
Yeah.
Robberies, like, robbing people is corny. You touched on that. Like, you're not going to stop people from robbing. Let's just say you had money, and well, you do got money, but if you had like millions of dollars and you wanted to ride around in Bentleys and have women jewelry on and diamonds and shit all on your hands, like, would you feel safe?
No, like, I will say, I love my wedding ring. I feel I have beautiful jewelry that my husband has bought me. And
have you ever worried about being robbed? Like, at gunpoint, not like your earring snatched. And I know that's like a strong arm robbery. But have you ever worried about like being out with girlfriends and y'all looking as dapper as y'all can look, and some niggas throwing guns in y'all face and taking phones and pocketbooks?
I don't think I've ever thought about it being to that extent. I have thought about like my pocketbook being snatched. I always try to be aware and cognizant of placement, how I'm holding it. It's so weird because you say that in
what about a place?
But listen, like, we were out somewhere and I had my pocket. Oh, when we went to the comedy show, and I had my pocketbook around my neck, and the chain of my pocketbook was stuck in my hair, and I could feel it. And we were walking, and I didn't feel like untangling it. And I told myself, this is just crazy. I told myself to untangle it because I said, God forbid somebody ran up and like snatched my pocketbook to ran. They could have broke my neck because my pocketbook was literally stuck in my hair and I could feel it. So I do think about that. And when you say a place, just being I won't lie,
have you ever
being
been a
in the
place that
city.
You thought like this could get robbed? As a teenager, as a 20-year-old, I'm in this place, like, or as a female, you just don't have that intuition, because as a guy, no. I know when I'm in a place and it's like, fuck, man, like the lights ain't bright in here, or that's only one way in, one way out. Like, I know this shit like that. Do females?
Think, absolutely. First of all, my sister is a hairstylist, those who don't know. And they laugh at me because every time I go to the salon, I fuss at them if I can walk in. And they like, oh, we good. Like, I'm like, no, lock the door. Or if somebody comes and like tries to open it and I'm there, it's locked. And they're like, you locked the door. Yes. I always think about that. Now, I know in this day and age, things are a little different because people can pay for services with
My
cash.
hairstylist's door is always locked.
People can pay for stuff with like Cash App and stuff. But I grew up in an era where the nail salon, the barber shop, the hair salon were prime places. I don't do that anymore. When I used to go to the Dominican shop, I think that's when I was like the most paranoid because Dominican shops, y'all know, used to be, they had like the hood on lock for a minute. And you would go in there and you figured, now they cheap, so everybody probably paying $40, $50, but you got 7, 8, 9, 10 girls in here. And I would always think to myself, this is the prime location. The nail salon. I mean, I don't go to the nail salon in the hood anymore, but I always think that too when I'm in the nail salon. Because again, most of them do take
cash.
Right. But even I'm like aware now of like having minimal stuff on me. I want to pay with my card. I get mad when they say, oh, we only take tips in cash. Well, you might not get a tip today, ma'am, because I don't have cash. But I go with minimal stuff so that I can be in and out. So and again, maybe that's just like embedded in my memory, but I've always felt like that about hair salons, nail salons, and I'm never in a barbershop, but I think about barbershops too.
Yes, I've know about 10 barbershops that got robbed, and I've been in barbershops my whole life. But she's not wrong. Like that's a thing. Like that's what stick up boys they think about: hair salons, nail salons. Like if you're robbing an establishment, but easy targets like that too. They know they take cash. Obviously, it's all women in here. Like what's the chances of them having a gun? You can scare them. Yeah. At least that's what the thought process is.
And nowadays, some places will say, I've seen like when you book appointments, some places they will say that like if you pay a deposit, they'll say balances due, Apple Pay only, or something like they don't take cash. And I feel you, especially you a young woman working in a salon doing whatever your service is. People count other people's pockets. So you could be sitting somewhere seeing customers going in and out all day thinking, oh, that's $50. Oh, she came out with a long weave. That's like $200. Oh, she got a lot. Now she got color. She probably paid them, $250 for her hair. They wait till the end of the night, see you like it's scary. Yeah. And I don't know if women think like that. And I know a lot of...
I think as a business owner, you should. I mean, like I said, my hairstylist door is always locked. And she talks about conversations like that, like being careful, being paranoid, being aware, having her gun if she go into her car. Like, and it's crazy. Like, you're talking about a female. Like why is it like this? Where it's like... a person will kill you for $500 you made today.
And I think to myself, like you said, she carrying a gun. I know a lot of people, it's been a lot of conversation about gun owners, and legally people have gotten their permit to use a gun. But not many people have really had to use a gun in real time. Even if you're going to first of all, people don't go to the range like they should to learn how. But even if you do, you can go to the range and have as much practice as you want. When that time comes to it, somebody got a gun in your face.
Yeah.
You're going to hope you are able to reach into your bag or reach into your pocket and pull out your gun first.
Yeah. Or like at least you know how to fight until you get punched in the fucking eye. Yeah. Then you realize, okay, I need to do something different. But people who have guns pulled on them know what that feels like. People who haven't, you can only imagine. But when you're looking at a gun, you don't know what the person is going to do. You don't know if you're going to get shot, if you're going to get hit, if the person is just as scared as you, if the person is out to kill somebody. You don't know any of that shit. And your life like literally flashed before your eyes like, damn, am I about to die? And for a lot of people, it's probably the first time that it's ever happened. So it's extremely traumatizing.
So have you ever been robbed?
Yes.
At gunpoint?
Yeah.
Oh,
as a kid, at a dice game.
Wow.
Yeah, at a dice game. It was like 6 of us shooting dice like 12 o'clock at night on the corner. And it was weird. It got real quiet. Like, you stop hearing cars come past. And then next thing you know, I heard a shotgun cock.
Sheesh.
and turned around and was like, holy
like
shit.
Omar and the Wire?
Yeah, like, holy shit. Like, it's going down.
So do you think...
And one of us took off running, and one guy had a 44, probably this long, who came from, like, that's how stick-up boys do, like, one guy from one side, one guy from the other. And, yeah, we was caught next to the phone booth, just standing there, hoping, like, my back, with my face against the store, hoping, like... And I wasn't scared, because you know why I wasn't scared? I didn't have nothing. Like, my money was in the car. So it was like, I don't have anything. And I don't know, at that, now I would be scared because they'll kill you if you ain't got nothing. But back then it was just like...
You knew they didn't want to hurt you, they just wanted money.
Yeah, so I didn't have anything. Dude took my keys out of my pocket and threw them like half a block and robbed everybody who was standing there, and then they just walked off. Like, so yeah, I mean, it's happened before, yeah. I mean, when you come from that the Get Busy boys come out at night. You gotta be ready. You gotta be ready.
Sheesh. I've never been robbed at gunpoint. My earrings were snatched before. And you know what? It just felt like... First of all, I didn't know. So let me just say that. I didn't know, like, it literally was like a 60-second delay. Thank God he didn't rip my ears, and then he was so smooth with it, unfortunately.
He had opposable thumbs.
Oh my God. Like, I didn't even realize till I felt somebody push me, and then it was just like...
thieving ass niggas.
Then I'm looking like he running fast and hard. I'm like, he stole my earrings. Like, I was at a pretzel stand at Germantown at Green and Shelton at the library. But I say all that to say, it was like such a feeling of violation. Like, damn, like, I didn't even do nothing. Like, you stole from me. Like, It was such a feeling of violation. Like, I can't believe you did that to me. Like, to me, he was a stranger. He didn't know me, but it was like, damn, like, I can't, but it was just such a feeling. And I was 12.
I didn't feel violated. I was like...
Because it didn't take anything.
I know, but it was like, damn, you was lacking. Well, I'm not using that terminology back then, but it was like what you expect.
But lacking, lacking, for those who don't know, means you were caught without a gun. But even if you did, would you have pulled out your gun, do you think?
Probably, yeah.
Wow.
Probably, yeah. Like,
and now it's a shootout. Okay, so why isn't it the mentality to
I think if I would have had a gun on me, I would have been more aware. That's how I was when I had a gun on me. I was more... less talkative and more aware. So I think I would have saw it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I would have saw it.
So how, and I mean, this is a question that you can't answer for everybody, but the decision to get down or lay down, like, do you give it up or do you get down and like, now it's a fight?
It's a split second thing. Like, again, I used to do this, so it's a split second thing. Like, if you walk up to somebody and smack them with a gun, that's kind of your way of letting them know or scaring them to not make a move or something like that. And you know, grab their waist real quick to make sure they don't have a gun on them. But it's like a split second thing. You don't know what you're going to do. If you think you have an opportunity to run, you'll run. If you think you'll have an opportunity to grab the gun, you probably will if you think this guy will shoot you.
But so it's not a thought of like,
so
let
much
me
runs
just
through your head.
give up everything because I don't want to get killed.
Yeah, that could be a thought too, but you don't know that you're going to have that thought. You don't know that you're going to have that thought. First off, you're scared. You're caught off guard. So it's like you just react. It's not like, again, your plan in your head don't mean shit when it's time for you to react.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Again, if somebody walks up to you or you turn around the corner and they smack the fuck out you with a pistol across your face and be like, you know, give me everything in your pockets, I don't think you're going to be thinking, you know, I'm going to take this guy's gun. You're going to be like, this dude's serious as fuck. Let me give him everything I got. So that might sway the decision.
I will tell you this. I mean, I don't think it's no robbers watching this. I have found myself, and I did this when we were together last week in the city, and I did this a while back when I went to a show with my sister and Shanique, and when we went to see Sarah Jakes. I have a card holder with like my ID and my cards and stuff in it. And I don't really do it because of my cards. I do it because of my ID. I think to myself, if somebody steals my pocketbook, I don't want them knowing where I live. So I put that in my bra and just hope for the best. Like, okay, if you steal my pocketbook, you got my pocketbook. But I don't, like, in my mind, I just think like, take my pocketbook, take whatever money I might have, and I usually have no cash on me anyway. Unfortunately, they'll probably have my car keys. I don't have, like, we don't need keys for our house, so I don't have to worry about that. But I don't want you to be able to come to my house. You know, I do whatever you feel best to protect yourself. But for me, I mean, it doesn't protect me from anything happening. I just pray to God nothing ever happens. But I feel like if somebody stole my pocketbook with my ID in it, I'm never gonna feel safe here.
Well, no, we'll make you safe here. We ain't nobody. We gonna change.
I will be
as soon as we get that
edge.
information. Why? As soon as we get that information, we'll change every lock in the house immediately. Like right to the store, come back, sit down with my screw gun, change every lock in the house, every door, and we're gonna be sitting up late night with the gun.
Yeah,
like that's easy.
Who wants to live that life?
Well, we have to for a little while.
Yeah.
Somebody got your pocketbook.
Yeah, that's so for me.
Until that calms down, then we don't hear no jiggling on the locks at night. Then we good.
Yeah, I have found myself like a few
Hopefully
times.
they threw it in the dumpster somewhere and realize they ain't got no money in it.
Yeah, they don't
You
want
don't
my
walk
ID
around with the stolen
card.
shit on you.
Yeah, money is one thing, but my safety, my home, like we can cancel cards, but I can't go sell my house because you stole my ID.
Posting money and posting in real time. That's a thing now. I hate to fucking say it, but that's what the world is, posting. So posting money, whether it be dudes posting stacks of cash, I don't know whether it's prop money, I don't know whether it's real money, but posting stacks of cash and then being seen out in public, having the wolves think you actually have that in your book bag or in your trunk or in your pocket. Like posting in real time and posting money that's a problem, right?
So yes, to me, two different things, and I'm gonna say this. Posting in real time, I think, is a safety threat.
Right.
I don't care who you are. Another thing about me, and my home is my sanctuary. This is where we lay our head. I want to be safe. For me, not only do I not post in real time, I don't feel like anybody's going to run up on us, but I don't need everybody to know that I ain't home at this very moment. I don't need everybody to know like, oh, they in this part. And most 99% of people that I associate with on social media don't know where I live anyway, but it's just the fact of I just don't need people to know that if they have some kind of way or some malintentions on, breaching our security, they know that they can because, they're at that concert or they're there doing that in New York City, so their house is free for the weekend. I don't feel comfortable with that. The posting money thing, it makes me think about something that I learned when I was about 21 years old. One of my old supervisors, I'll never forget, we have always loved going to good restaurants. Now, of course, as we grew up, our taste changed, our financial status changed, so those restaurants have improved. But I remember one of the first times we went to, I don't even remember where it was. I remember going to work, talking to one of my supervisors, and she's older, probably 30 years older than me. And me say, yeah, we went to this nice restaurant and it cost such and such amount of money. I don't know, I might have said the bill was $200. Back then, that was a lot for dinner. And I'll never forget her telling me, in a sweet way, baby, you don't ever have to talk about money. You don't ever have to tell anybody how much it costs. Those who got it will know, and those who don't, oh well. If you tell somebody, I'm going to just use this in current day, oh yeah, we went to Steak 48 for dinner. We had a great time. You don't have to say what the bill was. People who know about Steak 48, they know how much it costs. Or if we say we went to Old Homestead, people who know. If they don't, they probably don't care anyway. I feel the same way about money. Mm-hmm. That posting it, it's corny. You got a new car, you got new clothes,
it's such a screen for attention.
Yeah, people who know. You don't have to say it, show it. To prove that you have it. People who know, people who need to know will know.
And then again, most of the time you see this is on social media by rappers, by street dudes. That's the kind of the community of guys who do this type of stuff. But you're supposed to come from the hood. You're supposed to know that this type of shit is wrong. You can't be showing the wolves that you got cake like this. Like, somebody is plotting. You thought that way when you was in the hood. Like, when you was on the block, you thought that way. Yo, you can't be flashing money, can't be wearing jewelry, can't go on in this neighborhood because you know what's out there. But it seems like now that I got millions, let me just broadcast it on the internet. And then when I'm out eating fucking some steak or some chicken, somebody, and I got a book bag on, somebody think I got $100 grand in there. And I don't, I got drawers. Like, seriously, like I got fucking underwear in here, and you think I got $100 grand, and it's not even real. Or it is, but you shouldn't show that shit on the internet, like, at all.
Even outside of that, it's so weird. I was just talking to someone, and I don't even know who it was, but just talking about posting, I was talking to my sister, now I think about it, people posting in real time, and I get, this is no shade to anybody, no judgment, just, again, our opinion. I get people are excited when they're when they go to places or whatever. I will never understand how people will go to a concert. I'm gonna just say a concert for now, because a lot of comedy shows and stuff like that aren't even allowing video, but they will record or be on live to show everybody else like the entire show, which, okay, you're excited that you're there, but if that's the case, you shouldn't have paid to come, because you're watching it on your phone.
You're not a streaming service. Nobody's watching the whole show on your fucking phone.
But that's the thing. Some people
like, who are you doing that for?
Your
sister, your cousins, your aunts gonna watch the show while you bouncing the fuck around?
Now, I will tell you this, in all transparency, my sister and I, we have a favorite Jay-Z song. We have been to 4 or 5 Jay-Z concerts. Whenever that show comes on, that song comes on, wherever I am, I call my sister and we sing it together. And then we hang up. Like, I'm not recording the whole, like, having her on FaceTime on, like, I'm just not doing that. That's our song. That's our thing. We do that. Other than that, like, I just don't get, even when people will go on vacation and will, like, not their whole vacation, but just be live for, like, oh, we're walking along here, we're doing this. And maybe people do care. Maybe people are interested. But it's just not my thing. It's just not my thing.
It's not my thing either. Like, we can go on vacation, take all the pictures you want, take videos, all that shit. When we land back home, then you put that shit on the internet. Like,
now, I will post pictures sometimes, but I never tag a location. I don't care where it is.
Like, nah. Security. Mm-hmm. All this violence going on, all these rappers with all this money, nobody's got security. Nobody's walking around with security.
Again, I think it's that
I think if I got a Maybach and I'm in a different state and I'm in a different city and I got $150,000 around my neck and my wife, like, I want some type of security.
I think it's that false pretense of I'm good in any hood, and people don't realize while it sounds good.
What's that mean, though? Does that literally mean I can't be killed anywhere else?
Well, no, it doesn't mean
like, what the fuck does that mean?
It doesn't mean that you can't. You just think you want to be. It's a thought. It's a mindset of how you wish things could be. I feel like I'm good in. Okay, I'll say this. I'm good in any hood, but I'm cautious.
I'm good in any hood too, but I'm not gonna say, babe, I'm going down West Philly to hang out on the corners.
No, I know
my man from work, I'm just gonna hang out with him for a couple hours.
That's what I'm saying, but we're cautious. I'm good in any hood. I'm not afraid to go anywhere. There are some places that I feel like I'm not gonna do certain things in that hood. Like, I don't want to go into detail because I don't know who all may peep the show or what clips you may pick. But I know somebody was going to an event and it was in a certain area and they like, yeah, I just ain't sure that I want to be there. Like, I want to do that kind of event in that area. And I feel like as you get now, 10 years ago, that might not have been a thought. But you think to yourself, like, I just don't know if I want to be there, because while I'm not scared, I'm aware and I'm cautious and I don't want to put myself in danger. So I think that's where that mindset comes from, without realizing, like, it's not being a punk, it's not being scared. You just have to protect yourself and your family.
It's the dumbest shit when you think about it. We went to a boxing a fight. We went to the Javante Davis fight in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. So we go all the way up to Brooklyn. Okay, I think I'm good in any hood too. I ain't scared to go nowhere, but I don't know nobody in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. So we had a fucking fight, and we've been to a lot of shit together. This is my partner. Where we got tickets for everywhere. So we had this fight. We come out this fight. And sure enough, some shit starts. So I'm 44 years old, she 40. Like, we running. We running and like just looking at each other like
with a bunch of other old heads. Like nobody would look like they was under 30.
Time. A whole block running at one time. And we're just like stopping and looking at each other like, really? Like,
is this really happening?
Like we haven't done. I don't think we've ever done that. Like,
no, we've been in a lot of situations. We've never been running from gunshots.
Yeah, but you don't. It's just 41. It's just like, something you do not want to do. And it's the older you get, it's like, what the fuck? Like, I don't want to do shit like this. And you think the Barclays Center is a big event. A lot of stuff happened there. But guess what? It's in Brooklyn. Like, no matter how much it's gentrified. And you come to an event like that where half the people is Brooklyn, half the people is Baltimore, half the people is Philadelphia. How the fuck can you politic that? Like, how the hell can you know what's going to happen in that situation?
And again, nothing should happen. I mean, you would think to yourself. But something
will happen.
Yeah. And that was one of the things that, we kind of thought about, like, people come out, they meet up with their homies. Because you figure it's metal detectors and stuff. So nobody has brought a gun into the event center, but you don't know who they call to meet them outside, or people just there for the let out and what they got in their car, and traffic and girls and guys and politicking and stepping on shoes. And it was like, we already had the mindset of let's get away from here to catch an Uber just because of the crowd. Now it's like, oh, we gotta run. Like,
now we standing on the corner 12:30 at night sweating. Can't stop sweating because we was running.
It was this old head and his wife who looked like they might have been like 5 to 10 years older than us. The man they were running behind us. I turned around. He was like, excuse me. Not rude, but adamant and letting me know, like, get out my way because I'm running. And I got out his way and we kept running too. Like, But again, I think that's the mindset of not having security is people think, and it's almost like you want people to respect your growth, respect your grind, respect your come up. But people forget, like, everybody's not going to have the same level of respect. There are haters in the world. There are people that are just not going to do the right thing. You would think you from Clearfield Street, Cumberland Street, wherever, you from the hood, you pull up in your hood on the block, you got this fly car jewelry, the young kids, they're going to probably want to shake your hand, take pictures. You're going to have some people that's probably looking at you side-eye, but for the most part, you around your people. You can't do that in other hoods.
You can't do that. This shit ain't Belly. You see what happened in Belly when Method Man went to the Oklahoma to hang out with them niggas. I want to get money with y'all niggas. Them niggas ended up robbing them. Yeah. That's what's going to happen. Like, it doesn't go down where you can just go to any hood and think, because I hustle in my hood and I'm tough in my hood, people see that when I go to another hood. Like, no, it's killers in all hoods. It's tough people in all hoods.
Do you think it's like that male ego you talk about checking in? Do you think that's what it is, the male ego that makes people feel like I don't have to? Or do you think...
I think when you're young, you might think that, but when you're older, I think you want to make it back home. You want to be safe. And it's not about... If some people want to... If you're a famous person and you go to L.A., and you say you call some guys that you know from LA and they want to just come hang out with you, of course you're going to buy them drinks and have girls around. Like, they just want to be a part of what you're a part of. Like, that's what they want. It's not like they want to extort you out of something, or you got to give me 20 grand because you coming to my city. No, they just want an open door. Like, I'm coming to your city. Of course, I'm going to be in this club and doing this. Like, y'all come hang out. All this shit. Like, that's just what they want to be a part of, instead of sitting back, seeing you in they spots, drinking they liquor, fucking they girls, doing they drugs, and they just not a part of it. Like, and these are, you talking about guys who do this, run the city in that kind of underworld thing.
I don't like that. I don't like that. I mean, I get that it may be a necessary evil to protect yourself.
It's a respect thing.
But it's almost like I'm hating on you because you didn't let me know or let me be part of what you doing.
No, it's just extending an olive branch. It's just, we some...
But if I don't have...
It's like, we some gangsta ass niggas, we come to your city, and y'all some gangsta ass niggas, and we going...
But what if I'm not a gangster and I'm just coming to your city, but I got money?
Then you just... What you mean, like...
Like, I mean, I don't know what
if you Shamar Moore and you going somewhere, like...
Well, I mean, I don't know what the young man was into, Mr. Rock. I'm just saying, like, well, I don't want.
PNB
I don't
Rock
want to
was from
speak on
Clearfield
it
Street,
because I
and
don't know what his lifestyle was like.
he
So
was
I
from
don't want to
Clearfield
speak on
Street,
it.
and that it's just like where we grew up at. Like, it's the same type of shit that we grew up in. So
I mean,
I'm
no,
just
I
saying,
know that, but I know where Clearfield Street is. I'm just saying I don't know what type of lifestyle like he lived. So let's just say, taking out the rapper element of it, if it's a person like Charlemagne, does Charlemagne have to check in?
I don't know, but I would think that he probably, if he knows, I would think so. All the stuff that he's done and said, I would think that just extending it, and again, it might not cost him anything. It might not cost him anything at all. But just to say, yo, I'm coming to your city. You think if he don't go to Detroit, he don't let the like, if like, you know how that is in that city.
I don't like. So you think? I mean, not you think. Well, yeah, you think. I'm asking because you don't. But Wallow
He know
got
all
to
these
check in.
motherfuckers. He know all these. Yeah, like yeah. If he going to Detroit, he letting people know in Detroit I'm coming. If he going to LA, he letting people in LA. He's told these stories.
Yeah,
He's told these
like
stories
it.
of going in LA and shooting videos when he first came home from jail, and an essay walked up on him rolled up on him in a wheelchair with a pistol.
Yeah.
Until one other essay came out and said, yo, that's the funny boy from the internet.
So how far does it extend? So I'm paint the scenario. Let's just say Wallow. I think he's a single gentleman. Let's say Wallow meets a fine young lady from Miami. Right? And and I'm talking about like Lil Haiti, Miami, and he, wants to go down there and surprise her, pull up on her, bring her some flowers.
Call somebody from Florida, from Miami, that he know and ask about, yo, what's up with this little section down here in Lil Haiti? Is it cool to go down here? I mess with this girl down here. Like, is it? Because people. So from
you're
that
not
city,
checking in to like get permission. You're just asking, is it safe?
I never even said the word permission.
No,
that's
but
what I'm saying.
That's
what men would think, that I gotta call and get permission. Like, you're not. First of all, you're not getting on the phone saying, "Can I come to your city?"
I know.
So that's not permission. But you're saying, "Yo, I'm gonna be in your city Friday and Saturday. Like, y'all want to come hang out?" That type of thing.
But what if I don't want you to hang out with me?
Then you don't have to hang out with me. You can just like, okay, you hang out over there. But I'm just letting you know that I'm coming to your city.
But is there an expectation that like you gonna be buying these people some drinks?
No, because it's a respect thing. I don't expect, if I call and say, yo, I'm coming to your city, I'm gonna be here. If you and your mans wanna, hang out, you can. I don't expect you to show up with 55 motherfuckers. Because then it looks like, okay, you think I'm sweet. You think I'm about to buy all y'all motherfuckers drinks and all this shit? Like, it's 55 of y'all. So, no.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I've heard of it. I don't like it, but if it's it ain't the worst thing in the world if it's going to save your life. So
yeah, if you, in certain cities, if you want to get back home, LA, Chicago,
who do people check in with in Philly?
I don't know. I don't run Philly. I don't know. They don't call me. Excluding helping, and I'm putting helping in there a little bit, but why do people go back to the hood? If the hood is such a bad fucking place, you wanted to make it out, the wolves is in there, people are going to be hunting after you, there's some envy in there, you can help from afar. It's not like I'm saying don't help. For those who want to help their hood, you can, but you don't have to go back to the hood where people are dirt broke and you got the fucking $300,000 car.
You know what I think it is?
$200,000 on your neck, and you say, I want to show young people it's possible. They see you on fucking TV. Like, you can send shit. You can do that from afar and still know it came from this person. You don't have to be standing on the corner you was ducking shots from at one time in your life to show that the shit is real.
So, a couple things, I think, and people may not think about it, like, or may not think this is why they do it. I think part of it is survivor's remorse in some way. Where they kind of feel a sense of guilt, especially if they know, we came up, it was 3, 4, 7, 8 of us together who was trying to make it,
And you're the one who made it.
Yeah, and they might have been trying too, but they just didn't get that break, or whatever the situation may be. I think there's some survivor's remorse. And then there's also that part of unfortunately caring about what other people think. Or I don't want them to think I'm a sellout. I don't want them to think that I think I'm too good.
I'm trying to keep it real.
I don't want, I'm trying to keep it real, so I gotta show them I ain't afraid to come back to the block. And it ain't about coming back to the block. It's about, just like you said, this where you from. You know what can go down at any time. Why put yourself in that predicament?
Like when you sold drugs there, you ran from cops there, you ran from stick-up boys there, you probably had shootouts there. You know the paranoia that goes on there in front of the Chinese store. But yet you want to all of a sudden get rich and go gamble there.
But even if you feel like you safe because like you might trust these dudes and they may really not do anything to you, but you ain't been around, you might not have been around that much to know what they got themselves into, who they might have beef with, and it's just wrong place, wrong time. But you know another thing it might be too? Loneliness. If this is who you came up with, you get in the industry, you're around new people, but you don't really know them, and you want that sense of familiarity. We know the fame can suck people up, and it might be that trying to stay grounded and not be sucked up. Some people might be too real for that industry world, and they like the glitz and glam get to them, and they want to be grounded again, and they have to find a circle that can help them mentally stay focused without going back there. That going back to that sense of familiarity. That's another factor too that is unfortunate. You got like you hear about Cardi B, who goes to the projects to visit her grandma because her grandma refuses to move. How do you tell her don't go back to the hood? That's her abuela.
Yeah.
How do you tell her, nah, you can't go back to the Bronx? You can't go to the projects in the high rises. I mean, I don't want to go in nobody's projects in the house. If I had a family member,
like you might not make it out.
Yeah, but you can't tell her that she can't. So that's another piece. People feeling like I got family there. How can I stay away? I can't. You know. So I mean, it's. I think those scenarios are sad.
You can take grandma out to lunch. You can make a lunch date with grandma. You can make a spa day with grandma and take grandma out in the morning. You some arroz con pollo. And if you tell her, grandma, I'm gonna buy you some arroz con pollo, and I'm gonna send a car service for you, Nana, and you're gonna get in, and we're gonna be out all day, and the car service gonna bring you back. Yeah. Since you don't want to leave out of 12B. Yeah. Since you don't want to leave out of there, you know, I'm gonna bring you to my house, show you my mansion. Maybe you like, baby, can I stay here? I'm be like, yeah.
No,
yeah.
At the end of the night, grandma gonna be like, I gotta get back home. Yeah, all right. The elevators turn off at 9:00.
That's crazy.
You be like, grandma, the elevator broke anyway.
Just people be safe. People, if you can afford security, you know, obviously not talking about peons like us because we don't, you know, we ain't gonna walk around with big buff niggas. But people who
we should start showing up places with security.
People who need security, get security. Like your life is important out here. Shit is dangerous. People will kill you for something that they think you have. You don't even have to have it, but people will kill you for what they think you have. And you know what's fucked up was and I've seen these videos, people getting shot, people dying, and it's happening like 10, 12 times over the course of a couple years. But seeing PNB Rock land on the ground shot like that and still having his jewelry on. So to kill somebody and not get anything, it's like what, or not get everything that you wanted. I don't know. I think they took something off of them, but still to be like what the fuck? Like now, what you intended to be a robbery is now, oh, let me run because I murdered this dude. Like it's just crazy. So just be safe out there, people. What have you learned?
I've learned, right? I have some stats to read for y'all, and. You know, we live in a time in society where there's a lot of darkness and negativity that's going on. But did you know that the divorce rate has actually fallen some?
Yeah.
It used to be 60%. Well, now it's at 53% as of 2000.
I was gonna say, talk to me when it's like 8, like the unemployment rate.
Yeah. Now, you know, it's at 53%, which is still higher. That's more than half. But it's fallen, and that's a great thing.
It's almost 3/4.
53%.
No, I'm saying it was almost at
3/4. Yeah. You know, love is a beautiful thing. Healthy love. We talked about before, not necessarily seeking.
Put a little Luther on there, baby.
Not necessarily seeking to have a happy marriage, but a healthy marriage. And we ain't here to get no marital advice, because what works for us may not work for y'all. What works for y'all probably don't work for us. But we love what we have and just encourage everybody to love what they have. But just read some stats to you. Every 13 seconds, there is one divorce in America.
Wow.
Every 13 seconds. That equates to...
Somebody just got divorced.
277 divorces per hour.
Damn.
277 divorces
Somebody
per
else
hour.
Just got divorced.
Yeah, please don't say and count. Yeah.
I was just I did 13 twice.
That equates 277 divorces per hour, 6,646 divorces per day, 46,523 divorces per year, 2,419,000. I'm sorry, let me start over. 277 divorces per hour, 6,646 per day, 46,523 per week, 2,419,196 divorces per year.
And in her conversation, 5 people got divorced.
We know that love can be a beautiful thing, and I encourage anybody who's in an unhealthy situation, if you're being abused in any kind of way, that's a different conversation. But fight for your love, fight for fight for what's right. Don't just give up so easily. Things ain't always rainbows and lingerie
and peaches and cream. And if you don't have the answers, go get them.
Yeah.
It's not. It's the internet doesn't have a lot of knowledge on it, but it does have a lot of information. So you can get information from anywhere. Use your resources. But if you don't have the answer, go get it. But like she said, if you're a woman and you got a great love and it ain't working, fight for your husband. If you got a husband and a great woman, fight for your wife.
Yeah.
So however it works out, but y'all, if y'all got great love, then fight for it, because it's nothing like it. When it's working, it's nothing like it. So,
and I don't really care what y'all think, but this ain't indicative of anything that we're going through. We have been great. I know, I kind of told y'all I've been going through some things. It had nothing to do with us, but I'm just putting that out there. This was just, some information that I heard some conversations with her, and I looked up to see, and it was like, oh, wow.
This is what she learned segment. So
yeah, it was great to see the divorce rate has dropped, but it was just interesting to see those more granular facts.
Yeah, I mean this seriously, but jokingly, I kill you. I kill you, man.
Like, what would Dirk say?
What?
You didn't see what Dirk said? Him and his girl, broke up or something, and he told her that is mine forever. Welcome to death row.
Yeah, man, look. Ain't the world ain't gonna be right until it's right again.
What did you learn?
I've learned something that probably a 6th grader might know, but I'm 45 years old, and I'm just realizing that every square is a rectangle, but every rectangle is not a square.
Every square is a rectangle,
but every rectangle is not a square. And it's like that because a square is a quadrilateral. It has 4 right angles, which constitute a rectangle.
Okay. But a square
is not a rectangle because it has sides.
Equal sides, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that. Did you?
I did.
I don't think you did.
I think I did.
I don't think you did.
I think I did.
You lying like a mother.
No, when you said it, I automatically knew why.
You lie.
I knew why. Okay, let me say this. I knew half of it. I thought a rectangle had 4 sides. And I knew a square had 4 equal sides. So I had the rectangle definition wrong. But I didn't know... I knew why a rectangle wasn't a square. I didn't know why a square was a rectangle. Right. So let me say that.
Because you didn't know it was a quadrilateral.
I knew it was. I didn't know that's what defined.
You never heard that word before.
Quadrilateral?
Yeah.
I have. But I didn't know that's what defined a rectangle as having 4 right angles. I just thought it had 4 sides.
Mm-mm.
But that makes
4
sense.
right angles makes a
Oh
rectangle.
yeah, duh. Because a diamond has four sides, but that
four
is
equal sides make a square.
exactly four. Yeah,
Four equal
I'm with
sides
you.
make a square.
Four right angles make a rectangle.
Make a rectangle. So the square
Welcome
is
to
a
third
rectangle.
grade
Yeah, I was
geometry.
ready to say it's
What
harder
is
than,
that?
I don't know.
What's the
Geometry.
shapes?
Yeah, that's
Geometry.
geometry.
Okay.
3 grams. Iowa teen trafficking sex victim to pay $150,000 in restitution to the
Read
family.
that over, babe. Start over.
An Iowa teen that was trafficked has to pay $150,000 in restitution to the family of the rapist that she stabbed to death. So Piper Lewis, I hope that they let you out. I hope that you don't get no time. They saying she could face 20 years in jail for stabbing her rapist to death. And you know why? Because he took her into a room after he trafficked her with about 50 men, took her into a room, raped her himself, and then fell asleep. And because she stabbed him while he was asleep, the judge said he was not an immediate threat at the time.
She should have said he was awoke.
So, yeah. Thoughts? Free Piper.
This is why laws and things like that, it's like, just because they in black and white doesn't mean that every situation is black and white. Like at some point, and I know it's like, I go through this at work, of course, on a different level. It's like in some situations, you don't want to have a gray area because that opens up the door for too much uncertainty. However, there are some circumstances where you need to say, forget what's written on these pieces of paper. Like, there has to be some level of human element that's added to the situation. I mean, right is right, wrong is wrong. She stabbed him while he was asleep. Murder is wrong. She could have felt she still was in danger because she could have felt like, oh, he could have heard me when I was trying to escape, or he's gonna come after me again, he's gonna find me again. I don't know if you said she was trafficked, so yeah, to me that implies right. Yeah. Okay, that's what I was thinking. She was taken somewhere. So if I escape, I don't know where to go. It can be very easy for him to find me again. And in no way, shape, or form am I justifying murder, but I'm giving some plausible reason why this may be a justifiable homicide. Long end of it, she should not owe a damn cent to anybody.
No.
And the family should decline. Like, point blank period, the family should decline. Because it sounds to me, there is no doubt that he was a sex trafficker and a rapist. So just knowing that about your loved one being killed, I understand they're grieving. They're not the, they're not the rapists. However, you should decline any penny that someone is ordering somebody to pay to you. Or if they make her pay, you should send it right back to her.
Free Piper Lewis. She's a young black girl, and I hope that she doesn't have to do any jail time after going through what she went through. I just realized these 3 grams are so fucking grim.
Oh, God.
Number 2, Jesse Powell died.
I saw.
And baby, it's you.
The way it's yeah. We just had a amazing date night last week where we had an in-house date night, listened to some slow jams, sang to each other. And it was just like, wow. Yeah. 51, and I think it was like the day after his birthday.
Yeah. Jesse Powell and David Arnold, it's like, man, 53, like, goddamn.
Yeah. Jesse Powell.
Like, you just cracked the half a century mark. Like, that's when you're supposed to be, like, feeling good and living, and bam. Yeah.
I wonder why he was a part of that culture where, like, they had some really powerful hits that will, like, last forever, but they were like one-hit wonders.
I'm sorry, these are all the grams, but it wasn't nothing to talk about except, like, Saweetie and shit like that, and I didn't want to talk about that. Lady in Coney Island drowned all 3 of her kids.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, she's in Coney Island walking on the beach in a robe soaking wet and disoriented and barefoot. Cops walked up on her, found 3 babies in the ocean, and they tried to resuscitate them, and she said she drowned all 3.
reminds me of the lady back
Andrea
in the
Yates.
yeah.
How could you forget her name?
Mental health. I did not remember
Chased
her
her
name.
kids around the house to drown them.
Yeah, and then also I don't remember the other lady's name who she let her car go into the water until the black man did it and killed her kids. It's really sad. It's unfortunate. Mental health.
Real quick, postpartum depression is real, and we talked about. You just brought up Andrea Yates. I think I was 13, 14, something like that. But it was the first time I ever heard those words, postpartum depression. And it was like, wow, like what is this thing like that women go through after they have a baby? But to think that you have enough sense to chase your children around the house to drown them would be like, that's not really like, are you just blaming them on like?
Well, I've heard postpartum depression can manifest itself in different ways. You could think that you're doing them a favor by ending their life because this world is such a cruel, ugly place.
She said they asked her to.
I mean, it could be mental illness. Again, she could have been hearing voices because of the postpartum depression. We know when you have when you get pregnant, your hormones are chemical imbalance. Not the first time I ever heard about it, but the first time I ever heard anyone give me some insight into postpartum depression. I don't think it was before because I don't know, but I don't think I knew that about Andrea Yates. But it was Gwyneth Paltrow. She did an interview and she was saying when she had her second child, she went through postpartum depression. She was like, her first child, she loved him, so him or her, I think she had a girl first, loved so much and happy to be a mom and la. And then she had her son, I think his name is Moses, and she was like, she didn't like him, like she didn't want anything to do with him, like, and it was weird, like to her that she just didn't have that same feeling as when she had her first child. Like that connection wasn't there. It was almost like she had to force herself to be and do and feel the same way that she felt. And it was just like, wow, I can't imagine. One, you're going through that in your mind, like your emotions, your feelings, your hormones. But two, the torment of that, of thinking, oh my God, I'm a horrible person, and like trying to force yourself to love this child that you should because it's your child. You just birthed it. Like that's just a whole bag of.
Andrea Yates was the first time I heard about it because that was her whole defense in her trial was she had postpartum depression. And I remember a lot of women running to the forefront and like saying this is a thing. And it was like the first time I ever heard, like, what do you mean you don't want your baby? Like, what do you mean you don't hug it or kiss? Like, damn, like I didn't know women was going through shit like that. But yeah, lady drowned all 3 of her kids in Coney Island. Let's do a wrap. Act 2 the podcast, episode 88, wrapping up. Act2thepodcast.com, Facebook, Breaker, Anchor, TikTok, Twitter, Spotify, Breaker, Google Podcasts, and act2thepodcast.com. You can catch us on all those platforms. If y'all fuck with us, y'all fuck with us. If y'all don't, y'all should. Peace.